Hello, what is going on, guys? Hockey Guy 1 here. Welcome to my review / rant on Terminator Salvation. So, Terminator Salvation is directed by Joseph Adams, I don't really know his name, and stars Christian Bale, Sam Worthington, Bryce Dallas Howard. And so, the story of this movie is basically John Connor leads the human resistance against Skynet and tries to get Coyotes and yeah, that's and it's about it. I mean, if that's probably the best I can think of. There's like barely a story to be found. That's the best I can think of for that. So yeah, the story is pretty trash considering it's hard to even tell what the hell the story is. Everything, and just the plot is ridiculously messy. And see with the first act, especially with the first act, it just is a mess. And the second act as well isn't much better. Well as the third act. Let me go back to the acts. I mean, the first act is just basically nothing but showing Marcus doing a bunch of shit, and yeah, that's about it. And the second act also is basically nothing. I mean, it's just a drag from start to finish. There's nothing to it. And the third act, also, there's basically nothing to it. I mean, they do have things in it, obviously, but it's just so boring and drags so much that you can't really say anything positive about them. I mean the third act is literally nothing but a bunch of shit, like Kyle Reed's going, Marcus going out to save John Connor, and yeah, and that's about it. I mean, and they also had that terrible looking Terminator thing because they didn't apparently decided not to get Arnold Schwarzenegger back for this. So what do? CGI his face over someone else, and that CGI not convincing whatsoever. Because for some reason, apparently Arnold Schwarzenegger was too busy on something that they couldn't get him. So yeah. I mean, that's basically the climax. Just fighting this Terminator thing, and Marcus trying to save him from it, trying to save John from it. That's just about it. It's nothing, honestly. If you couldn't already tell by the description of my acts, that the pacing is absolutely atrocious, and just a joke, basically. And yeah, it's nothing whatsoever. I mean, the pacing, it's a drag so much. The plot's messy. The acts just go from one place to another. It's dumb. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I can't really say something else other than that. The pacing is just trash. I guess the action was decent, but if you compare it to the action in the first two movies, it's just lackluster and bad. And really bad if you compare it to the first action, the first two. I mean, this movie's action isn't really much other than the action in the first two movies, so it's decent. I mean, I guess, especially if you compare it to the action in the first two movies, it's just a bunch of punching and shooting, and it's cool, but definitely, like I said, compared to the first two movies, it's nothing. But I will give it that. It's decent. And the writing is also just atrocious. I mean, what's memorable about this movie? Basically, not much, honestly. Especially with the writing. The writing is just so forgettable. I mean, there's not really a line that's memorable at all, so that's a problem big time. And the ending I'll get to that. It's one of the worst endings in this franchise. It's just terrible. Honestly, the ending is just terrible. So John Connor here is just, well, basically just a leader of the human resistance. That's about all we know about him. He does not develop over time whatsoever. He's just the leader of the human resistance who's fighting against Skynet, and that's about it. Literally just John Connor's character, which he was already ruining up in Terminator 3. Did they really have to make his character worse in this movie? I mean, really. His character is just basically nothing in this movie. He at least had some characterization in Terminator 3, I'll give him that, but here, he's basically nothing. Honestly, he's just, like I said, the leader of the human resistance. That's about it. I cannot believe this. They completely forgot about Terminator in this one. Well, technically they had him in one scene, but once again, I'd like to not count that, because that was just, that wasn't even Arnold. That was just his face CGI'd over someone else's face, which is a really stupid decision, like I said. And which how can you have a movie called Terminator Salvation without the main Terminator as a main character in it? It just makes no sense. Well, that may sound pretty nitpicky, but I'm just saying, that's just kind of stupid. But I mean, it's called Terminator Salvation, but Terminator's not even a main character, and it makes no sense. He's just a background character. That is completely wasted in this movie. I mean, Marcus, I guess he's kind of interesting. We have to see that he's a human who has turned into a Terminator for some reason. It's just weird. That's just pretty interesting. And he says John Connor in the end. It's ridiculous. And his character is just, he's really the only interesting character in this movie. It's honestly, there's just nothing other than him. The characters are just really bad. And like I said, as well, especially Kyle Reese. I mean, he is just basically nothing, you know. This movie is just the guy they're trying to find. That's about it. And yeah, Kate Brewster, who is now Kate Connor in this movie, is just basically just wasted in this movie. That's about all I can say. He's not really anything. And yeah, that's about all I can say. She's nothing. She's a forgettable character. As for the acting, though, Christian Bale, his acting was just completely stale and flat, and it's just terrible and everything. And I cannot believe this is his role right after his amazing performance in The Dark Knight. This was his next performance, and he did completely terrible. And I just cannot believe it. And just, it's ridiculous how bad he was in this movie. He's just flat. I mean, Sam Worthington did a decent job, I guess, but about all I could give this movie. I mean, really, it's about all I could give the movie's acting. None of the actors really looked like they were trying that hard in it. CGI is just relatively decent, I'd say. I mean, like I said earlier, I already said this like twice, but Arnold's face was CGI'd over for a scene, and it just looked terrible. But other than that, the CGI actually looks pretty good. I'll say that. I'll give the movie that much. It looks pretty decent, and yeah. Overall, Terminator Salvation is garbage. There's like nothing else you can say about it. It's just garbage and forgettable. and just garbage, like I already said. And I'm gonna give Terminator Salvation a 2 out of 10. That was my review / rant on Terminator Salvation. What are your thoughts on Terminator Salvation? Do you agree with this rant? Do you disagree with it? Tell me in the comments below. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.